I've never done anything like this before. I'm not a journalist or an actor, so I'll do the best I can. My name is Dave Newart. I'm an injured worker in Saskatchewan. And I got injured in 1976. I wasn't diagnosed until 1987. For the simple fact that at the very early stages they screwed around with me. I guess they had to start with somebody. That seems to be when it started. Workers' comp across the country were looking for people to screw with. Well, since I didn't have blood pouring out of me and broken bones everywhere, everything was below the skin. They probably thought I was an ideal catch. Good one to start with. So what they did was the head doctor, Dr. George Elliott with the Workers' Compensation Board, along with a few others I'll mention later, he wrote a letter telling everybody not to help me. I used to wonder why I'd go into a doctor's office and 10 minutes later type of thing I'd get kicked out. Well, that was why. And I have I guess I could say I have one support on that. Is a witness is the one doctor I went to. The receptionist, the nurse, was my older brother's girlfriend at the time, and she urged me to keep seeing doctors at the time, different doctors, instead of staying with the same one. So I went, and a few minutes after I saw him, he left the office, and he came back in and told me to get out of his office. Said he couldn't help me. Apparently what he did that day is he walked into the outer office and he phoned workers' comp, and there was a lot of I see, oh yes, and then he continued to have me removed. And personally, he put his hand on my left shoulder. In fact, I don't know if he realized how close he came to it, because my original complaint was wrestling with a few hundred pounds of steel I lost, and I injured my left shoulder. Tore the cuff, and I also at the same time injured my lower back. And what happened was I spent, 10 years, for sake of argument, trying to survive with all of that. And I ended up having, and my complaints were specific: left shoulder pain, excruciating pain. And I'm a welder by trade, so anybody you work with steel, you don't have serious health injury and continue working. And also my legs, the pain in my legs was becoming quite bad. It was one of those gradual things, I guess. As it turns out, I ended up having surgery on my left shoulder and surgery on my spine, my lumbar spine, to correct this. Well, it went on for so many years without being treated properly. No diagnosis, no treatment. That it was a little late to do anything really corrective so that I could ever go back to work. As it is now, today, I need 2 more operations because these ones didn't hold. And I've got to do this for my kids. After my accident, I sold everything I owned. I had my own welding shop I was starting. Every dime I had tied into welding equipment. I lost it all. I couldn't perform any work. The trailers I designed meant nothing anymore. I lost all interest because I just couldn't do it. And I was too embarrassed, so I wouldn't go on welfare. No compensation. I just lived in my car. And if you are familiar with Saskatchewan, the middle of winter here is not conducive to good health in the first place. And then when you're injured, anyways, that's another story. But, there's lots that I could tell you about how I was thrown in jail for a murder I didn't commit, and how, when I was being questioned by the Mutt and Jeff police, they asked me what my problem was with workers' comp. This was back in 1980, and I was wondering, even then, what the hell did workers' comp have to do with any of this? But I was getting a little loud about my situation at the time. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. There's lots of other things that happened over the years. I've been in rubens of existence that these people have put me in that, well, you think you live a good life. I don't know if you notice this. You don't get this if you are a bad character. I don't think I am. I don't have a criminal record. I've never laid a hand on a woman or child. Grew up the same as everybody. Got into the odd fight, that kind of stuff. But I never did any damage to anybody. I never hurt anybody. I never turned to drugs or anything like that, or crime. But they have me listed apparently as public enemy number 2. And that really riles me. And recently I was told they're still doing it. No, I guess that's logical. You can't screw with somebody and then get caught with your hand in the cookie jar and then change your mind. You got to stick to the story, don't you? That's what these people do. They stick to the story. And a few years back, I got my file, the real file. See, I got both. They don't like that. So somebody down there had a twinge of morality, and they mailed me my real file. And the very next day I got a call from somebody at the Saskatoon office, her name's in my file, wanted it back. Now this is just before Christmas. And she says, well, you could probably do with the money. See, I paid for my file, but they weren't going to send me the original. That was where the screw up came. I got the original. They didn't like that. They thought they were going to give me the original altered copy version again. And I said, no, that's fine. I've already got that one. No, I've got the original, the real one. Doctor's signatures, letterheads, things like that. Remarks that were made that I wasn't supposed to see or other people weren't supposed to see. Anyways, she said, you could probably do with the money this time of the year. And I said, that's quite all right. What are you going to do with it? And I said, well, since you're not going to do anything about it, and I'm deserving, I don't deserve this treatment, I'm deserving the compensation or retraining or something, I'm going to make it damn well public. Oh, you'll go to jail then. Now, I've been threatened with that before by these people. Fine, I'm looking for a life term then, because I'm going to do my best to make it public. And they have gone everywhere. They've gone to the media. The talk shows here, the local radio station, they told me years ago that if I ever had proof, by God, they would do the story. Well, I got proof, now they won't talk to me. Refuse to talk to me. In fact, they won't let anybody on about workers' comp. Now, the show here, the talk show on local radio, advertises anything, absolutely anything. But when you phone in about workers' comp, get lost, and they hang up on it. And that's a fact. And I think maybe the CRTC should get involved with something like that, but they're quiet about it also. So I think there's lots of power and money involved with this. And the Star Phoenix, on a Tuesday I phoned them, that's the Saskatoon Star Phoenix, the only newspaper here. They stated that they would definitely do the story if what I read to them over the phone was, and I said, well, it's in my file. I mean, I've got it. 2 days later, they said they couldn't do the story. But when I was talking to Danella Hoffman at the time, she was the city editor, she had me facing away from the door. And I turned my head quickly and I saw somebody pulling back from the shadows. And because she kept on looking there. And she was nervous. She was looking at my file, but she was nervous. And then she tried to slide some of the stuff away from me, and I grabbed it back.